Hey everyone, Danielle here. My pronouns are she, her. It is Thursday, January 2nd, and I recorded my last clip of my last vlog earlier. And now, excuse me, yes, I filmed that clip after I'd done my whip parade. It's about 5 hours later, and I have a start and finish. I was like, I still have 3 or 4 hours before I have to go to bed. Let me see if I can get some more stitching. I didn't want to pick up a whip because I just felt like whatever I picked up was going to have to be what I worked on when I came home. And I just didn't really want to put in one day worth of stitches and then pick it back up when I got home. I don't know. So I was like, here's a funny story. I went on a trip about 2 years and 2 months ago. It was sometime in October of 2022. I went to see my friend in Tennessee, and I was still pretty new with cross stitching and traveling with cross stitch and stuff. And so I was like, oh, of course I'm going to stitch on my vacation, and of course I'm going to stitch in the airport and on the airplane. And so I loaded up this project bag that I have with 2 quirky Quakers. One was this one, and one was Lovebirds, and I had a light Picture This Plus fabric, kind of peachy looking with a red floss. And I picked this, which is Picture This Plus Storm in 14 count. And this, it's a Forbidden Fiber Co. called Obsidian. And I put them both in the travel bag, or in the project bag. And I stitched on the plane on I stitched in the airport and on the plane on Lovebirds. And then I don't think I stitched on it again the whole vacation because I did not really enjoy travel stitching. Also, her and her whole household are vapors, and so I didn't want to pull out my project while I was in her house. So I finished Lovebirds when I came home or something, but I never went back to either stitch the bat or take the fabric and the floss out of the project bag and put everything away. So that project bag has been sitting, I'm gonna move you. So in that bookshelf over there, the 2 doors that are in the middle, that is where my whips live, is behind those doors. And I have had this project bag that this was in, even though I never considered it a whip, right? But that's just where I put it, because I'm even though it's a kitted up thing, it's in a project bag. And so I just didn't want it to live with my kitted up things. I never bothered to just take the fabric out and the floss out and put those things away, and then I could just not concern myself with it. So when I was like, oh, well, I have a few hours, I was like, I know that the bat is one of the least amount of stitches of Quirky Quakers, because I have a spreadsheet where I put all the stitch counts in, and so then sometimes I'll sort it by number. And I knew the bat was a very, very low stitch count. So I started parade progress and started and finished it. So yeah. But yeah, now I need to eat something and go to bed because I have about 13 hours before I leave my house. And in those 13 hours, I have to eat twice, sleep, and pack. So I will see you on the other side of New York. Bye. Hey everyone. Today it's still technically Tuesday the 7th. It's 18 minutes away from being Wednesday the 8th. I am coming to you live, not really, from New York City. Hold on, I'll move you and show you. Never mind, there's too much light reflecting off the window to actually see outside. It's dark, so it is The light that I have going on in the room is like totally making it so you can't see out the window. But I am in my hotel room. It is the very end of my trip, and I started this on, let me think. I left Portland Thursday night, so I got here Friday, but I did not stitch Friday. So I started this on Saturday. I did like 40 stitches. And then I don't think I did any stitches on Sunday. And then on Monday, I did like 44 stitches. And I was like, oh, this is going so well. But then today, I actually had some time in the morning before my activity that I did. And so I decided to kick up the whip parade progress again, and I got a lot done. Like I got 165 stitches done, and then I only had 300 something left to go, and I was like, you know what, I bet I could finish that tonight. And I did. I probably to my detriment. It's almost midnight. I still have to take a shower and pack all my stuff, and I have to be up in about 9 hours, so you know, like time is a ticking to get a good night's rest. But yeah, so I kind of finished this. I was gonna call this a finish. There is more to this pattern. There's like a bunch of backstitch buildings that like come out both sides, and then there is some backstitch stars, but I didn't want to do any of that. But when I was stitching on it, I did think to myself it would be super cute to like add a little taxi cab right here. And then I rode the subway for the first time, so I was kind of thinking about putting in a little subway car. And it snowed when I was here, and even though I didn't really go out in the snow, I thought I would add a snowflake. And then also maybe like a little street sign that says Times Square or Broadway or something like that. And yeah, so I think I am going to add more to this. I'm just going to call it like a finish for now. Yeah. But this was all I had originally intended to stitch. And I actually bought this originally after my trip in July, but I never started it. But yeah, so like I said, I think I will add more to this. I need to like buy some little patterns, or maybe I do know a bunch of designers. Maybe I could ask somebody for some designing help to make, because I don't have very much room. You can see how much room I have here, and then, you know, the fabric really doesn't go past the Q-snap, so really whatever I put in kind of has to fit in this stitchable area, which, you know, I don't know what that is. That's maybe 30 stitches. Maybe I'd have to count it out and give them some like measurements and stuff. But yeah, like I said, I think I want to add a snowflake for the snow, a subway car, and I thought it'd be really cute. I rode the 1, the F, and the E. So I thought I would make those little round circles with the color and then the train number letter on it. And yeah, so, but this is definitely done for now. And I'm sorry I didn't vlog. Y'all, when I am on vacation, I go hard, and like I'm not thinking about anything else. And also, like, navigating the public transportation was extremely stressful for me. Like, I've been riding public transportation since I was a child, a literal like 8-year-old child. And even going places in my own city that I've never been before stresses me out. So like the fact that I got on a subway in New York City was kind of a big deal. And so all that to say is just that like the thought to pull out my phone to like vlog what I was doing just didn't even cross my mind, honestly. I did take a lot of pictures, so I think after this clip, I will put in a bunch of pictures so you can see what I got up to. I did so much, y'all. I went all over Manhattan. Yeah, so I'm gonna end this clip because, like I said, I gotta pack, I gotta shower, I gotta go to bed and fly home tomorrow. So, all right, I'll see y'all in the next clip. Bye. Hey everyone, Danielle here. It is currently Friday, January 17th. Today would have been my grandma's birthday. She would have been turning 84? Yes, I think so. I think 84. Yeah, I don't have anything special stitch-wise planned for that. I did finish my Blackbird Designs What Remains Is Love last year, which I started for her birthday 2 years ago. But anyway, I'm home from New York, obviously. It's been a little over a week. I got home late last Wednesday. And I got home and immediately became ill. It was bad. It was really bad. I took an expired COVID test and it was not COVID. It was definitely something like lower respiratory because I have never coughed so much in my entire life. Yeah, but I turned the corner on that a few days ago. I haven't had any over-the-counter medication in like 4 days. I'm just still like coughing a lot and there's still just crud, coming out. That's how it is. You're actively sick for 3 to 5 days and then you spend 2 weeks like coughing all the crud out. But I came home and I picked up, this is a piece, I just call it Orca. There are some cultural appropriation issues with it, which is why I don't show the full pattern anymore, or talk about the artist. I bought this pattern and all the DMC when I was at Threadneedle Street. This was back in like 2021 when I bought it. And I started it in 2021. And then when I came back to it in 2022, I restarted it on this fabric, which is a 32 count Lugana by Color and Cotton. I believe the colorway was Whimsical. Doesn't show up very well, but there are like some purpley splotches, purpley pink splotches in it. And I hate this fabric because I have since sworn off Lugana. This is the only thing that I have going on Lugana. When I picked it back up, I was like, oh, do I even want to? Do I even want to? But I was like, yes, you do. So I did so much. I added 1,937 stitches. Kind of kills me to not hit 2,000, but I'm just not like mentally prepared right now to do any of this whale. But the whale is all I have left. When I picked this up, I decided to focus on the water. Previously, I had the water that was under the Orca done, and then I had like this bottom. Yeah, I had this bottom part of the water, like probably to, I think I had this full swoop done of the the medium color. And then I did have this little bit of the lighter color done, like right here. So I started with this medium color and added in all of that. And then everything you see up from there is all new. And the water's done. I only have, hold on, let me check. There's a dog. Let's see. I should have checked before I hit record. So there are only 1,166 stitches left. That's a bit of an approximate because this chart has a lot of fractional stitches, and my fractional stitches that are done aren't counted towards what's done because, well, if I only have half of the stitch in, then it doesn't count because I mark it as parked so that I know that I did the stitch, and parked stitches don't count. So towards your total or your still to do. But yeah, so I am hoping that this could be a finish this year if I pick it up again. And the whale is going to be tedious because, again, there are those fractional stitches. And I've kind of messed up. There's a lot of fudging to do as far as the fractional stitches because I was just like going to town with these dark colors doing the fractional stitches, and then I realized when I went to put in a light color, I was like, oh, like it doesn't look right. The light color is meant to be the dominant stitch, but I've already done the 3/4 stitches with a lot of these dark colors, so yeah, it's just not really fun. But most of the 3/4 stitches are like in this area, and so I'm kind of hoping that like once I get out of this area, there's still like a ton of block stitching to do. So again, I just need to pick it up again this year and hope to have it finished, because this is one of my oldest whips. Like I said, I originally started it in July of 2021, restarted it in the summer of 2022. So this is on my list, even though I restarted it in 2022, I still call this a 2021 whip. So I would really love to finish this year. But yeah, so other than that, I am, so I like I told you, I got sick, and then right as I basically was, I'm still kind of recovering, like, because when I tell you that when I was taking the decongestants, I could not sleep, I mean that like in 5 days, I think I slept 12 or 14 hours. And so I was just like getting to the point where I could sleep again, but I'm not like sleeping super well, you know what I mean? Because I'm still like coughing a little bit, and then my dog had to have a dental yesterday. This has been on the calendar for 2 months, and what your animals going through surgery and going through anesthesia is so effing traumatic. Like, so yesterday, I got like a nap, and then I got another nap, and then I got another nap. And that last nap was, my body was like, you got to go down. Like, he came home, and I was hoping that like I could get some rest before my husband went to bed, because after he has any kind of issue, we have to do 24-hour supervision because he doesn't like accept a cone or anything on him to like prevent him from, getting at things. So my husband watches him all day, and then I watch him all night. And that's normally fine because I like to stay up at night anyways. But you got to be in the right sleep schedule for that. And, we had to take him in at 7 o'clock in the morning. And like I said, I got a nap when I came back, but given my state of illness and sleep deprivation, I was like, okay, well, I really hope I can get a nap when I come home, but like, I have a feeling I'm going to be worried about him. And oh my gosh, y'all, they did his dental late in the day. So when I tell you that he was still like practically sedated when we got him, that is not an understatement. And they were like, hey, so we tried to give him his pain medication to give him first dose, but he would not, he was too grouchy. We could not give him a pill. And they were like, in fact, he still has a bandage on his leg because he would not let us remove the bandage. I was like, oh, okay, like it's bad. So I get him home and I'm thinking it won't be a problem to give him his pill. But no, he would not even open his mouth for me. And I'm like, buddy, you have to take these pain meds because this stuff you're going to start coming down from all this sedation. And so long story short, it took over 2 hours to get one of the 2 pill pockets I needed to give him, because one pill pocket had one pain med pill and his anti-inflammatory, and the other pill pocket had the other pain med pill, because he normally takes one, but for after the dental we're giving him 2. So finally I got one pill pocket in him after 2.5 hours almost, and he like licked his dinner, like one lick, and was like, nope, not ready. So finally though, I was like, okay, at least I got something in him, maybe in an hour he can take the other pain pill. So I told my husband, I was like, if he gets up on his own, or when you have to get up in an hour, try to give him the other pill, try to give him dinner. And thankfully, so I went upstairs, I was able to fall asleep for about 3 hours, and thankfully the dog took his other pill, ate his dinner, wanted more dinner, so that was good. And he's fine now. Like, he's still obviously very sleepy, but I tell you, it's just so, anesthesia is so traumatic. I just feel so bad for him. He had to have 4 teeth taken out, but the thing is the 4 teeth were in 3 different quadrants of his mouth. So I think the problem with why he wouldn't open his mouth and why he wouldn't take the pill when he was finally then trying to open his mouth, when you have work done in your mouth and your tongue feels swollen and heavy and weird, I can't imagine that there was any part of his tongue that did not feel engorged. And so I think that was the problem. But I wish that they had maybe given him an injectable pain medication, but maybe they thought they couldn't even give him a shot with how he was being. If they couldn't get a bandage off his leg, I don't know that they could have given him a shot. But anyway, that's my life right now. It has been quite a week that has not been very restful, and will continue to not be super restful it'll be fine now. Hopefully I can, now that I'm sleeping again and we got past the dental, I can go to sleep during the daytime when my husband's up with him. And this will probably just be for like 5 or 6 days, just to make sure. Technically the sutures take 2 weeks to dissolve, but they tell me that the mouth does heal very quickly. And with all that saliva and stuff, they tend to dissolve faster. But yeah, and then I have a very busy week planned at the end of January, so we'll see. My immediate intention is to take this off the Q-Snap and put on Forest Home by the Blue Flower, because that was just the other whip that was kind of like speaking to me, that I would like to get some progress on. There's some good block stitching ahead of me with the like leaves of a tree that are like they're like big blocky colors of leaves, so not like little things. And yeah, and then I might still start Stitch for Pride this month. I did get my fabric and my floss. Haven't even opened my fabric yet, y'all. And then I'm thinking about doing a little Quirky Quaker binge while the Michelle Bendy is at the Flosstube at Sea. There was some talk about like doing a binge of Quirky Quakers while she's there, and she's calling it hashtag Quirky Quakers in Paradise, and paradise is a state of mind. So yeah, I was already thinking about doing a little binge of Quirky Quakers anyway, so I might do that. We shall see. I'm going to cut this clip off now because it's gone on way too long. You probably heard way more than you cared to hear. And yeah, actually, here, hold on. You saw the other dog, so you can't see him. He's under a blankie. But that's the little lump of potato over there who's still very sleepy. But yeah, all right. I will check in with y'all again soon. Bye. Hey, everyone. Today is Tuesday, January 21st. We are in the dark times. That's all I'll say about that. Checking in because I think I have decided to set down. This is Forest Home by the Blue Flower. This was one of my 2 Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit kits from 2022. And I did a little over 2,000 stitches in just a few days, really. Not too bad. I stitched the whole treetop there, the whole mountain. Most of that box for the text was already stitched, but I did have to close it up. I had just a little bit left of the top. I had the whole right side and then a little bit left on the bottom. The words that are in so far, I did those, and then that is a tree over on the right side. I kind of wanted to finish the tree trunk and then take that right side border down as far as I could and finish the text. But when I sat down earlier this morning to stitch, like, it took me an hour or a little over an hour to get like one strand of the text in, and I was just like, you know what, I think I'm just not feeling it anymore, so I think that means it's time to move on. This is oh yeah, I think I forgot to say last time, so this is fully kitted, so I'm using all the called for, even though some of that is floss that I don't typically stitch with. And this is a 36 count XJU Designs linen. I believe the color is called Ghostly something. It's Ghost or Ghostly something. And it's going okay. This is my only linen project. I think this is the only thing that I've ever done on linen. And I think the reason that I'm okay with it, I've been doing 2 strands. I am going to run out of this lighter brown color is a Classic Colorworks. So the next time I go to Acorns, I'm going to see if this skein looks the same, and I'll just buy another skein, because this is gonna be like the whole deer, and I'm just not gonna have enough with 2 strands. And then this slightly variegated green color is a Weeks Dye Works, so I will not be purchasing another skein of that. I have enough of it to do this tree leaves, which obviously you can see this is the same tree. So I have enough of it to do that, but then I will be finding the DMC equivalent to do the rest of the pattern with it. This blue is a Weeks, but that will be okay. And then I know there's at least 2 other Weeks in this project. Yeah, so if it's, none of them are super variegated, so if it's going to be a problem, I'll just sub the DMC. I just want to make sure that I am smart about doing it motif by motif so that I don't have to mix flosses for the same motif. Anyway, as I was about to say, I think the reason why I'm okay with this 36 count linen, but I hate 18 count Aida, is because, so I hate one strand coverage on 1836. I think it's just far too sparse. One strand on 20 count is almost too sparse for me. So if that tells you anything about how I like my coverage. I do like 2-strand coverage. I don't think it's too puffy, like personally. But I think that the reason why this is okay for me and not 18 count Aida is because like these linen holes are so like loose and soft and flexible that when you go to stitch, they just slip. They just slip for you. And so I don't have to fight my needle. That's the reason why I don't like stitching on 18 count, is because I don't want to do one strand and I like the 2-strand coverage, but I end up having to fight to get my needle through the holes. So if I was ever going to be a linen stitcher, it would probably be 36 count, just because then I could do 2 strands. Things would be just a little bit smaller, than doing 32 count. But all that said, I've been doing really well as far as these holes being pretty even. However, I definitely went over 3 somewhere in these like 3 rows of the mountain, and like trying to get it to focus, you can see that this one right here comes out an additional half a stitch, because like I was trying to even it up or something. I know that when I came down to this row right here, I went ahead and I used the right holes. So that's why that's out like half a stitch, was due to a boo-boo going over 3. I didn't realize it right away, and I didn't want to rip back to find it. I was having a hard time in this area, but it's been, it's not my favorite. Going over 2, I don't think is ever going to be my favorite. But yeah, so I made really good progress on this. Next up, hold on. Slightly out of reach. I need to get my small for Stitch North stitched up, because I need to take it to Acorns and Threads when I go on Sunday. Sunday is Acorn Gathering Day, and I want to drop my small off to be fully finished. So let me show you. So this is my palette. This fabric is, I'm pretty sure it's a Picture This Plus, but I don't know what it's called. It kind of like comes off as cypress green to me. And I am gonna stitch, well, if I can, I want to stitch this like the whole thing plus an additional part. Let me show you. It'll make more sense. So this is a pattern by, there we go, that's a little better. I think Stitch Sprout. This is a pattern by Sprouting Lupine. I've had it for a while. I'm pretty sure since they released it. This was like an immediate purchase, and I just think that they're so darling. I am partial particularly to this one in the middle, but for my small, I'm only gonna stitch this one, and I want it turned into like a sweet, cute little pillow, maybe like a pillow with fabric on the side, like fabric on the left side and on the bottom, so to give it a little bit more bulk, since this is obviously kind of tiny. But then I want to stitch the whole thing for myself and have that turned into a pillow as well. So I don't know if I can tough through the whole thing. Probably not. So I'm gonna start by stitching this one, and then I'll probably cut my fabric off so that because you know I gotta take this one in on on Sunday, and then cut my fabric off and then start over again, but I'll start over there so I don't stitch the same bunny twice. But yeah, so again, this is the fabric that I picked, and here are all the DMCs. I was shocked to see how many DMCs there are, but there's like 3 greens and 3 or 4 browns, I think, and 3 purples, 2 yellows, and the white. So it's a lot of colors, but I love this fabric. I was thinking, I'm pretty sure I have a Jobelin from Bestitch Me that is like kind of a succulent green color, and I was thinking that, but then I was actually upstairs in the craft room hanging up fabric. I'm still not done in there, y'all. The part of the problem is that I had to buy a second wardrobe because all the fabric might technically fit on the one wardrobe, but it's not gonna fit with enough room to actually like look through the fabric, you know? So I bought a second wardrobe, but I have not built it. I bought it so long ago, but it is getting built this week. After that, I just have my 14 count Aida to hang, which is not nearly as much as the 16 count and 32 counts were. And then I'm gonna spread them out among the 2 wardrobe racks. My patterns have been organized. I still have dinky dies to put onto the spinning racks. And I have a dresser that's downstairs that I want to move upstairs because I still think that I'm gonna need like a place for a few things to kind of accumulate. Things that just don't have a good home, or I don't know. But I gotta take that upstairs. And then I'll be done. And then I will do an actual tour of it as a Flosstube extra. But yeah, so this is what I'm about to start. And like I said, I gotta get that one with the white flower done this week. And then I'll start the rest of it. I just think they're so cute. But yeah, so that's it for this clip. I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hey everyone. It is currently Wednesday, January 22nd, and I have a finish of this is going to be my Stitch North Small, and I just checked in yesterday that I started it. On day 1, I got the whole bunny done, and then over the last few hours, I got the flower done. There is a deceptive, this is 739 stitches, which is not an insignificant amount of stitches. The whole pattern is like 2,500 to do all 3 bunnies and all 3 flowers. But yeah, I've got it done. It's gonna go to Acorns and Threads with me on Sunday for Acorn Gathering. Drop it off to become a cute little pillow. And yeah. So now I'm going to, I cut this off, obviously, and put the same fabric back on the Q-snap because I'm going to go ahead and start the bunnies for me. I don't think I'm going to get it done because I still have some stuff that I want to get done in January, but I at least want to get one bunny done. So that's it for now. Oh, I did look up on 123 Stitch, and I think this fabric might be, it's definitely Picture This Plus, and I think it might be Tidal. Out of all the ones that 123 Stitch had available anyways, Tidal was the one that looked the most like. So that's it for now. Check in a little while. Bye. Hey everyone, it's currently Saturday, February 1st. I totally forgot. I don't know what came over me. I don't know how this happened, but I totally forgot to do a little clip after I worked on the set of 3 bunnies. But I finished that. I got really into a groove on those bunnies, and it was very satisfying to stitch. And I got into a groove and I was doing lots of stitches, and I actually finished all 3 bunnies and flowers. But I not only did I forget to do a video clip for y'all, I've already dropped it off at Acorns and Threads for finishing, so I don't have it to show it to you. So I'm gonna pop a picture in of what my finish looked like. I went back because I was about to film this clip and I was just thinking, like, I don't remember talking about this pattern. I was like, so what did I talk about in my last, clip? And then that's when I realized that my last clip was after I finished the first bunny. And I didn't take any clips after I finished all 3 bunnies. So sorry. But yeah, so I finished all 3 bunnies. You're seeing them on the screen. And but I was still working on them when I went to acorn gathering, which was like, today is Saturday. Acorn gathering was last Sunday, so almost a week ago now. And but we got this project for acorn gathering. It's called Acorns and Friends. It's by Lola Crow Cross Stitch, and isn't it adorable? And I would have started it that day because I do love it, and I think it's my favorite pattern of all the acorn gathering patterns that we've received. But I decided that you can see that the fabric for it, the fabric for the cover is a little lighter than the Aida that we received, because the linen and the Aida were different dyers. And the Aida that I got, I looked at it and I was like, that looks so much like the Aida that I'm already working with. And I knew I had another piece of it. I was like, I think I will wait until I get home to start it so that I can pull that other fabric. So I just worked on my bunnies at Acorn Gathering, and then continued to work on the bunnies when I came home. I worked on them through Tuesday night, I guess, Tuesday sometime, because I finished them before I went back to Acorns on Wednesday for Whip Wednesday, and that's when I dropped off the little one to be Stitch Nor Small, and the 3 bunnies to be for me. And then I went ahead and made my start on this. Pretty sure I made my start. Yes, I made my start here at home because I started it and then I had to rip out most of what I started, and then continued on at Whip Wednesday. And then, so I've been working on this since like Tuesday, either Tuesday or very early Wednesday, something like that. And no, Tuesday. And this is what I got done. I got the raccoon fully done. Look how cute he is. Oh my gosh. Like, I just could not get over it's a raccoon stitching a trash can. It's amazing. So, very happy to have completed the raccoon, because if for some reason my brain is like, hey, actually you don't want to stitch this whole thing, I mean, I think this is perfect. Like, this would be a perfect memento from the event. But I'm going to leave it on my whip list. I would like to stitch the whole project. So it will remain on the whip list. But the raccoon is done. He's fully done, including his backstitching. There's a lot of backstitching in this chart, which I don't really love, especially when, like, I feel like some of it is not really working for me. Like, you just can't see it. There is backstitch around his eyes and his nose that I can't see it. I don't know. Let me look at the cover again. You can definitely see it around the eyes in the cover more than you can see it on mine. But yeah, I just think this whole scene is so cute. Yeah, it's adorable. I love it. So yeah, so I'm done with that. And now, let me show you. And I didn't know that Lola Crow, her name is Amy, she lives here, like very local to me. She's been going to stitch groups at Acorns. So now we're gonna transition to February. And my goals for February are, I'm gonna start this. And I'm starting with this first because frankly, it was already out. So I'm gonna stitch Yellow Bird by Lottie Da, although we're gonna nickname it Pink Bird. And I'm gonna stitch it on this 40 count Verdal. Pray for my eyes, y'all. And I'm gonna stitch it with, should have pulled this out when I was talking about it. Okay, stay. I'm gonna stitch it with this Splendor 12 ply silk. I don't know if it has a name other than it looks like S993. But I bought all this when I was at a cross stitch shop in Indiana when I went to Stitch North last year. And then this was my friends that I road tripped with. This was her local LNS. But I've just been very inspired to do a pink on pink project ever since seeing Bridgen, the museum stitcher, and Cam and others, they did a pink on pink project. And so I want to do a pink on pink project. And I don't know why I wanted to try 40 count Verdal, but clearly I did because I bought a piece of fabric specifically to do this whole pink on pink thing with. But yeah, so we're gonna try it. I don't think that 40 count, me and 40 count are not gonna be like become best friends or anything, but I think it'll be interesting to try. And it's a pretty small pattern. I forget what the app said. Hold on, let me check. Okay, so according to markup, this pattern is 1,445 stitches. Although I did take out, like, I don't know if you can see it down there. It kind of looks like initials, like maybe an L. Maybe it's LRI. I don't know, but like, I have no idea what those initials are supposed to be there for. And there's no like alphabet to personalize it, so I'm just taking those out. So that does account for those stitches not being there. And yeah, so we'll see how far I can get with this. It'll largely depend on how seeing the 40 count goes. I'm gonna start with the border because that'll be a nice, like, easy, you know, repetition. Don't really have to carry anywhere, so I don't really have to count very much. But yeah, I'm gonna start with this, and I'm figuring, you know, pink, this is very Valentine's Day, you know, pink on pink. And then also in February, I want to work on Modern Folk Embroidery Move Forward in Love because it's on pink fabric and it's about love. And then I also want to work on my Hello from Liz Matthews, My Home in the Garden, because Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery is doing an alphabet sal, where he was like, just work on anything with an alphabet. And that's actually my only whip that has an alphabet on it. So those are my only plans right now. That obviously won't take up the whole month. But that's okay, because that leaves me with some time to do whatever else my little heart flitters to. You might notice I did not start Stitch for Pride. I don't know why I haven't started it. In fact, funny enough, it's right there in that little purple sleeve with the rainbows. It's been sitting here with me this whole time. I don't know what's holding me back. something is holding me back from starting it. I don't know if it's just that I did love doing it last year, but I don't like having any stitchy commitments. And that was probably the only reason I was able to finish, because I did go watch my last clip and I was like, yeah, I'm probably not going to get this done because I have other things I want to do. Stitch for Pride was one of those things at the time. But yeah, I don't know what's holding me back. I don't know. So I don't know if I'm going to start it. We'll see. It's obviously not like too late to catch up. The February drop looks kind of like maybe light on stitches, so that would be good. But yeah, so those are my plans right now. I'm going to start this and then work on at least 2 of my existing whips, Move Forward in Love and My Home in the Garden. I will throw all this together, make it into my vlog, and put it up on the YouTube. So thanks everybody for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, doing all those good YouTube things, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye!